Okay. Um. First of all, it will not be right for me to start any videos without saying thank you, God. And I'm saying that even sometimes it's tough, even though it's tough to say that sometimes, but I need to be very thankful because regardless of what's happening to me, regardless of how stupid I'm being forced to be, regardless of how idiotic I'm forced to be, at least I understand this because I'm being manipulated to think this way. I'm being forced to be this idiotic, and the reason why this is happening to me is because I'm a test subject, and I understand the circumstances I'm in, and evaluate them and see them and assess them and analyze them as as the reason why this is happening to me. The rest is going to be a lot of like theatrical and theater and ways of trying to override reality by forcing me to think in these different ways. Um, um, uh, it's been a long day yesterday, but I had to be strong. What was tiresome about yesterday is all it took for me. It took a lot for me to just not react. A lot. It was so draining. It took so much energy. I was like, I had to remove myself from this place because it was just too much. And regardless of how idiotic they want me to be, I still see these bottom feeders for what they are. I can't. There's no escapism. There's no. I'm not gonna let them be part of this and think that this is normal. Um, they want to normalize what they're part of because the truth is the incentives, I'm sure, are too good for them to not wanting to be involved in it. And so dumbing themselves down is needed. As much as they're forcing me to think in this way, I'm not any smarter than them. It's just they have to stoop to this level and turn into these rational beings that they have to be for the purpose of gaslighting me. That's what they need to do. I need I need to accept and identify to the narrative, to the manipulation, and to all this nasty manipulation. And as they try to vilify me, I look at them as the trash that they are. I just was thinking about yesterday, this woman who, I think she's in the medical field or involved in, she's quite well versed in the medical field. I can see why she would love this, right? I can see the incentives for her to be involved in this because she is involved in a program where they can manipulate so much of my organs in my body, and she can observe what's happening to me. And as somebody who's in the medical field, that the incentive would be just be able to observe these kind of things. A human test subject and seeing how the body reacts to all these different things that's happening to me. For that person, the incentives are clear, not even just financial, but she knows obviously what this means, and she knows what this has caused. They wanted to they wanted to vilify me, and in ways that just you cannot be in this program and even try to attempt to do what you're doing right now with the vilification. They tell me I was there. I was listening to this trash talk about that's abuse, and they talk about. Matter of fact, 2 seconds ago I saw, not too long ago, literally maybe 5-10 seconds ago, and I saw a 13-year-old boy, but he's a big guy, big kid, really big, not a normal 13-year-old. He's a 13 who looked like he's more like 15, 16, right? A bigger kid than what you think. So you see him as a child, but you don't see him as that young of a child. 13 is really young, but this guy, sorry, they're making me calling a guy. This kid is a big kid. He's actually he was the same, almost the same height of a short adult that was there, but he was a really big kid. Now, not all, no, most of the kids at that age don't look this big. They're not this, you know, big of looking, you know, as they don't look like that kid. But they were trying to make me think of me at 13. I did not look any close to this kid. I was a tiny, skinny, small, typical 13, 14-year old kid. And you would see me and see that this is a kid. I'm not, you know, I'm not, you know, I was not a, I'm no, I was not the biggest kid. I was just like typical average height for my age, I guess. And I was really skinny. I was a kid. But they will try to feel, well, they want me to feel guilty for, not even feel, to forget that they torture children, but think about me as a child and the stupid thing I did as a child. Now, I will not let these people involved in a program where they abuse children. Let me repeat that, they abuse children for the purpose of this program, literally torturing them in ways that are crazy. Using Department of Defense technology to torture a child. Some of them 3 week old, some of them 3 years old. These trash are cowards, are low life, and you see that in every ways. You see the weak low lifeness and cowardness of this trash, and try to make me feel guilty of an act of a child, an appropriate act of a child, when I'm 13, 14 years old. Matter of fact, yesterday I was talking to this man, and just to kind of put things in perspective, I was like, yeah, he was like in the 60s, like, hey, you look like you're 13. He's like, he started laughing. I was like, why does that make sense? My point is, you are in a program that is literally destroying the life of children, damaging them. That I'm not gonna let you live that fantasy. You know, as I'm hearing somebody tell me to kill myself, I'm like, if you should continue to live in work for a program that torture children. When you talk about abuse, I'm looking at you. I know you guys are involved in a program that abuse children. What you are trying to exaggerate about me as a kid, which they have to push it to that level of abuse. Matter of fact, it's not. Matter of fact, the embarrassment that there was this article in this newspaper about how kids at that age, you know, because of this lack of knowledge, the developing aspect of the brain, the impulsiveness of children, you know, a child at that age is capable of doing that, and that's because of the developing state of their brain, and not even that, but just the unawareness of a child. And that's why it happens as a more often than you think. But what happened to what I did as a child was not something that they wish for. They would have wished that to be something of the sort of molesting or even raping, whatever. But that's not the case. It's me doing something to myself as a kid. Matter of fact, they still try to be like, nah, that's abuse. And in this article, they were saying what is considered sexual abuse is physical contact was done, but the only physical contact that was happening was me and myself. Now, it was still inappropriate, but that's what a child is capable of doing. Now, this inappropriate act of a child that is in middle school, where they have to even exaggerate, this trash yelling this with all this anger, for some reason have the ability to forget the reality of what they're involved in. The program they're involved in torture children. They torture children. That's all you got. No, abuse won't even be fair to call that. I was saying to somebody who was trying to say something, I just wanted to listen to these terrible, horrible things they do to children from this trash. I wanted to sit there and it's like, let me see how you react to this. Sexually torturing a child using defense technology. Suffocating a child. Burning a child. Radiating a child. As young as 3 weeks old. And seeing their reactions. You see how much you care about children? You see, this is connected to you in one way. because you made yourself connected to this program. By doing these things to me, by involving yourself in this program that does these things to me, you are involved in a program that does this to children. You are connected, you are associated to this. When I see this, when I hear this, I see you. Because you are involved in my targeting, which to be involved in my targeting, you have to be involved in this program that does these things to children. It's that simple. You could not do anything to me in any fashion this way unless you're involved in this that does this to children. And I know that. And you think that I'm going to look at you as like, oh, he had just abused. And you're involved in a program torturing a baby that's 3 weeks old. Talking about me in middle school, having to exaggerate what I did as a middle schooler, while you, grown men and women, involved in a program that does these disturbing things to a 3-week-old. And you know how they respond? Oh, we're worse. I was like, why would you say that? Articulate to me why you think you're worse. Why would you say that? Express to me why are you saying you're worse. Are you saying you're worse because you're involved in a program where the Department of Defense technology is torturing babies? Is that what you're saying? You see? Reality. I can never let this low life live that fantasy. The babies, the women being destroyed. Is that why you're worse? Or are you worse because these women are begging to end these atrocities that's happening to them, and you're involved in a program that is doing that to them? Is that why you're worse? Listen, I've understood what this is about. I'm not going to confuse this false reality, this BS story. There's so many of them that feel empowered in this program and want me to believe that they're winning. They're this group of femme fatales. No, I'm a test subject to this governmental entity that use human being as test subject. There's nothing I really can do. If this governmental entity want me to be frying, they'll be frying like everybody else. There's no winning, there's no losing, it's just enduring as a test subject. You don't have that much option. You can't do anything against those kind of entities. They need test subject. The way they just make themselves like you're gonna die in hell. I'm gonna die wherever this governmental entity want me to die. I'm a test subject. I understand. You're not a winner. This governmental entity that abuses and tortures children will kill me the way they want me to. And I understand that they have to minimize their intellect. There's children saying the same thing as their little kids. These dogs, even they can have these dogs bark when they're. That's the kind of brain you need. Listen to this kid abuse it. In a program where they torture babies. I'm like, look at this. That's the kind of brain you need to have. So, for me, it's just to understand the reality of things. I'd rather die in hell than live like them. What they've done to themselves, they'll get the response they need when the day comes. I don't think anybody who decide to minimize themselves to that level, to lower their self-respect to that level, comes out clear. I was in the elevator. This guy. I didn't even have to look at him. I could feel his nasty vibe. His just disgustingness. He was telling me, and I was listening to the testimonies that just clarify exactly what this is about. And you hear the women talking about how they go through all these horrible things. And this guy tells me, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna die in pain, and then we're gonna die." I was like, "Yeah. Do you think I want to trade places with you?" Because when he said that, it's like, oh man, that's not a death I want to have, and I'm the one who will be dying in pain. Because I'm listening to testimony of what they do to women. I'm listening to what this program does. I would rather be dying in pain in my life than having involved myself in this. There was nothing fierce. There's nothing. It's just horrible things. And to who he has been done to is just. It's been just showing what kind of low life they are. And I'm glad I got to see it. And they used to say it's not fair. It's like it's absolutely fair because in the first place you were just having to dumb yourself down. But now I understand why you so. Is you just try to counter this torture of a 3-week-old. You just try to counter this 4-year-old with Down syndrome being sexually tortured. You just try to counter that. That's why. That's why you send this fucking retarded. To stop me hearing a 3-year-old being sexually tortured. You're a winner. And on top of that, yesterday they were telling me how they're gonna. Well, they've been telling me how they're gonna frame me, and they use these children. I was like, okay, please, continue to just have these kids live this great life that's waiting for them. I was at this place. I was saying the name of this 14-year-old kid that was dead. This poor kid is dead. 14 only. All his life in front of him, dead. Why? Because as always, they push people and agitate people to lose their mind. A man ended up killing 18 people because he was tormented to the point where he didn't care about killing people, even children, when he even has a child. He went to a bowling alley on Kid Night League, shut the place up. 18 died. A 14-year-old died. A 10-year-old got shot in the leg. I'm sure others got shot too, but I don't think they got wounded. And that was just 5 months ago. Trash ass. I was at this place listening to the End National Defense Abuse Act. What this was about. Google it if you don't believe what it is. There's a bill called End National Defense Network Abuse Act. Read what this is about. These governmental entities have such an issue with child porn and trafficking child porn within this computer network. It's ridiculous. And they've been trying to counter like, no, this is our network, our feminist freedom. $2 gaslighting. No, this is the government. This is the DoD running this program, and it's been running for a long time. Maybe even before your grandparents were born. They've been doing this thing since the 60s. So, for me, it's just been hard to maintain my cool. It's just been so hard because now I know the death of this child. I know they torture children. I know they torture women in horrible ways. I know they suffocate. I know this cognitive warfare, this manipulation, is part of this breakdown. And for them to be like, now what we're doing, we're mapping. Shut the f up. You've been forcing people to have this disgusting reaction toward children. When I said this man, oh yeah, how old are you? 13? Or I looked at him, and of course he's not. He's like in the 60s. It's like, you look like you're 13. I'm like, imagine people start saying, no, we're mapped to you when you're 13 years old. And he has a granddaughter on his phone. She's 12, 13. The baby. Which they try to do their nasty, they did their nasty things where where they forced me to get sexual stimulation, but for some reason it wasn't as bad. But a baby. Imagine there's, we're gonna make your brain a year older than this kid. We mapped it. You understand? He thought I was joking at first. Well, of course I was making a comment there, but that was supposed to be funny. But I was like, you get it? You get it? They're mapping. No, this is the cognitive warfare that pushed people to kill. 5 months ago, men killed 18 and killed 14-year-old while these trash are daring in the most comfortable ways. Well, this is this little girl, 10-year-old, asking why would somebody do that? Because she got shot in the leg. The bullet grazed her, but she's only 10. Getting shot in the legs while these trash are like, yeah, we dare, we trash. And I'm looking at these people in this corporate office area, and I'm like, you're a piece of fucking trash. What if I did something to you? Like, of course I don't want to do that, but I just like, look at you. A 10-year-old gets shot in your head, or worse. That alone won me. I want to do, like, I feel aggressive. It's like, look, you're just a nasty trash. A poor kid gets shot, you're here, tell me how you're worse, and tell me how daring you are. Or are you not scared? Scared of what? Why would you be even scared of me? I'm praying every day. I've been praying to never get my hands dirty on trash like you. So it's been tough. And at the same time, the reality of this is crazy. These people block themselves out from reality. I'm employed right now, right? I'm employed. As tough as it is, I do my best. It's super hard to function. It's so hard, but that's what it's supposed to do. Like, I knew the day I got hired that it's going to be a tough wait. It's going to be tough for me to function, but I did my best with the brain that's being ravaged and my body being destroyed, my everything just so hard to, like, nobody can really function in these circumstances. It's hard to stay focused. You are continuously pushed to, like, losing, like, you cannot even focus. You're being distracted. It took a lot for me to maintain focus. It's just super hard. It's not an environment or a state of mind that you can be working in, but you do your best as a target individual. My brain has been diminishing by day, by seconds. I can only imagine what my brain looks like. So, of course, you're gonna have to expect that you're gonna make errors, and I said that multiple times. You have to accept reality. You are not at the best. You're not at the top of yourself. Like, you are really not gonna function the best way. When I look at these people, it's like just a fraction of what I go through will destroy the people I see them. Look at them. You won't even be able to look at it. Like, you couldn't handle what I'm going through, and still try to do these things and try to function and do your best. You have to accept as a target visual. Employment is going to be tough. Everything is going to be harder, and errors are going to be, of course, expected. There's this thing that happened where there was a little bit of, as I was creating something, there's two things that needed to be adjusted or something like that. And when I saw that, I was like, oh my! I was surprised that I wasn't surprised that it happened. I was like surprised that that's it. I'm like, my gosh. Of course, they're gonna try to make it. They're looking for something wrong so they can create that, use that against you, right? They are truly going through everything you can do. But of course, in this state, you're gonna make errors. And on top of that, when I work, these people that are manipulating your brain, you are still being manipulated when you're working. They can make you not see something that is in your face. They can distract you. They can do this and that. Like, they control your brain. So they can make you have these stupid errors, especially the minuscule. On top of that, not even just the manipulation, they can distract you. Somebody can start sending you a message. You can forget about this. It's so easy. They mess with you 24/7. It's so hard to function. Then there's noise campaign. They try to agitate you, and it's just like, always like. And so it's so hard to just focus. And so making errors are expected. And on top of that, you don't sleep well. You don't eat well. You don't. That is just like a. It's going to be a. It's going to mix into something that it's going to be a concoction of, like, errors because of that. And then they are manipulating you. I know they can easily make me skip a step. Easily. You can do this and forget about what you. So when I saw that, I was like, okay, you know what? I know they're gonna make a bigger deal than what it is, because they're looking for things that I'm going to have mistake on, and I will for sure. So I was like, if that's it, I'm okay with that. I'm okay. If that's like, I see me there, I was like, oh my gosh. Not only that, out of everybody in my team, I'm one of with the most, product to look over. So it's not only that I'm being manipulated, but I'm also have more responsibility than the majority of people working there, and I'm doing it by myself. So that add to the fact, I'm like, it's okay then. Me, who's working on these multiple products, by myself. I do not really have somebody who truly was there, even when it's really just me. And on top of that, the way I get compensated is below what somebody should be compensated at my position, or at least it's not the highest level. It's really low. It's not really low. It's good for me personally. That amount makes sense. Well, it's okay for me because I don't need a lot of money. I don't live a luxurious life. I'm very low maintenance. But the truth, if I look at the markets and what people in my position will get, I'm at the low level. And I'm okay because for me that's okay. I'm not, that works for me. I'm okay with the amount. I'm not dissatisfied. It's not, money is not the issue in regard of what's happening at work. I'm okay with this money. But I'm not stupid. I understand that people making way more than me, and not even way more, but I should be making more. But this amount is good for me because I'm still able to do the little things I want to do. Now I don't live a luxury life. That's perhaps why, or because I'm just by myself. But it works okay for me. But these people at the same time tell me how they're gonna sue me. I'm looking at how much I'm getting paid. I'm like, you guys gonna really get embarrassed that way? I'm not saying that if they sue me, nothing's gonna. Of course, but you know how stupid that looks for your company. The salary of this person is that amount. That, if you look at the standard in the city, I mean, this is a low amount. So not only it shows that this person is not based on his salary. Obviously, his responsibility should be seen based on his salary too. You're paying him that much, and you saying you're gonna sue him. Please do. Look how stupid he looks. Listen, for me, I'm saying the salary is okay, but if I run a company and the person I'm gonna sue is gonna get paid that is that much, he's the one getting paid that. I'm like, no, just get rid of him, fire him. That's it. That's nothing. It's a little. It's embarrassing, but the responsibility I have, you wouldn't think that this is the amount of money I'm getting paid. You wouldn't think so. I wonder if the clients knew how much. Well, they know how much I was getting paid and the way I'm interacting with them. They would not think that I'm getting paid this low amount. It's not a low amount. This amount, for me, is not low. But for the responsibility that I'm supposed to be in charge of, this is not the standard. But I'm okay to be below standard with salary because I don't live a standard life. I barely eat. I barely, what I spend my money on is the food I'm gonna eat, which is not that much, and some random things. But to see my employers talk about how I'm like, please do it. That's embarrassing to you. Once again, this is humiliating to you. You're going to sue somebody who makes this money, this amount. And like they're going to win. Jesus. I'm in New York City. You look at this salary. It's comical. For somebody to that gets paid that much, to be told that you're gonna be go ahead, and on top of that, they think that because they are my employee, I can let them go into this like fantasy. First of all, you don't even pay me enough for me to let you go to that level for me to let you live that fantasy. You crazy. And being your status does not allow you to create this. I'm not gonna allow you They think their employment status, and in regard to status to me, for example, somebody who's a director, somebody who's a, you know, because of their status, I should be acceptive of these disgusting cognitive manipulations and stick with this personality they want to implant. I know I'm a test subject, but I'm not I'm not. I'm being forced to be a test subject. If if any other man saw you acting this way, if a man with a little bit of aggression, they will harm you. I can reassure you, because I understand exactly a man who sees you for what you are, the way I'm seeing you for what you are, he will do something to you. I guarantee you. He will attack you. A man who is being manipulated this way, he understands that they are wanting him to accept this manipulation that is so disgusting, to the point where they almost push that man to kill himself. And see a guy look at him because they are being mad that this personality that they put together is, for some reason at that point, is not being played. And they get so frustrated. I'm like, and they look at you. Whoo! That moment, I was like, this guy looking at me like that, please do not talk to me, because I know you're a bigger guy than me, but I don't know if I will black out. He was frustrated, like I said, because this manipulation, they have these tactics of like bringing things, like flipping things around. So they were making me think about adult content. But I didn't like that, because they're going to change it into some pedophilia things. Pedophilia type of torture is what they do continuously, and they want me to identify with this personality. I knew that, I was nervous that, oh my gosh, it's going to start there, but they're going to start implanting child porn, which is disgusting. Like implanting pedophilia things in my brain. They're low-life pedophiles. They're cowards and low-life pedos. And this motherfucker, with all due respect, I gotta calm down. Before they go into the changing into some pedophilia things, in the mix of them, and when I say them, is this program that cognitively manipulates you, and they play with your imagination, your thoughts in these ways. Before they go into the manipulation of this pedophilia things, they were first starting off with this adult content stuff, that adults and men and women and what I've watched as adult content, right? Before they start changing it into like making me think of a kid, and then create some nasty sexual thought of this kid, and turning things into pedophilia. They can do that all the time. But before it got to that point, this person started getting mad. They're like, no, that's, oh my God, no, don't, you know, I'm like, you're getting mad because I'm not this piece of shit. I saw that, and I saw him, I was like, you are crazy. If I was somebody who was aggressive, that moment would have triggered an aggressive reaction. He thought, because of his status in this employment, I should have just been like, oh my God. Yeah, let me get back to this first person. Never, you piece of shit. We're talking about life and death. A child just died because a man lost his mind. You fucking you know that I'm not an aggressive person. And that's why you felt comfortable to do that. But at that moment, I swear, that moment I could have. That moment when he looked at me, I was like, oh my gosh, if I could grab something. Because if I went to that level, it would not be just about me. I would think about the poor people, poor kids that died, the tortured children, the women, all these horrible things. And this piece of shit is trying to make me accept this manipulation. At that moment, I was like, I'm going to lose this. God, I would have swung on him. I'm not in the best shape, but I would have broken all my bones there. And if I went to that level, it will not be to the point of never coming back. And I made it to even annoy him. So come on, come back again. Do this again. I start writing down the things he didn't want me to think about because he wanted me to maintain this false personality. I start writing it in big, the adult content stuff. Big. Come back. Come act like this again. Let me write in a bigger marker. Come back. The things that's supposed to be like embarrassing, just adult content stuff. This personal. What kind of adult content you watch is not something for It's for you to see, or at least not your coworkers. But he wanted to go back to the manipulation that's pedophilia centric. So I'm like, nope. Writing down, just come back. Come back if you think you have if you think that you can be allowed to do this thing, and come back. People have killed for the things. Trash as a 14-year-old died because people like you pushing me nasty low life. A child is getting shot in the leg. When you talk about it's war, you trash ass. It's war. Look at your trash ass. Go grab your snack and. I can't. I see them for the trash that they are. Target individuals, stay strong. Stay strong.